When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. I grew up in a community of hardworking people. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn, you know? And that, you know, we have...
It's been 84 years.
Lost in all the craziness, all the nonsense on the weekend, going on over the weekend with Donald Trump, Kamala Harris is nobody's probably more happy than Kamala Harris. She gave what could only be described as maybe one of the worst interviews in human history. And given she went with a friendly source in ABC News and still served up a ridiculous amount of word salad, I don't believe the polls. I don't believe that many people think that this woman is competent. I don't think that on November 5th, people are going to show up at the polls and say, hey, I really like that woman who's been unburdened by what has been undone, has been before bean salad casserole. You know, by the way, there's actually a delicious recipe I can shout out to everyone right now we're working on a cookbook right now that should be out hopefully by the end of the week. One of the best party recipes that we have on tailgatesfortrump.com is in fact not the Kamala Harris's tuna meltdown, but it is the Kamala's unburdened by what has been casserole. Absolutely delicious, and you should check that out and pick up some stickers while you're over there. ABC 6 to ABC for a first solo interview, sends slanted debate, and still serves up word salad. Vice President Kamala Harris sat down with ABC affiliate to do her first solo interview Friday, choosing the same network that got her through this week's slanted presidential debate, but still managed to stumble through softball questions. She answered 5 questions from Action News 6 ABC, a local affiliate of ABC News. In the interview that came just days after the moderators in the ABC debate with Donald Trump assisted her by providing fact checks for the former president, but not her. Not even that. It's not like they didn't fact check her, right? It's not like they didn't fact check her. They never even asked her for clarification. When they asked her the first question about like, hey, you know, people don't feel like they're better off now and than they were, 4 years ago. What do you say to that? And she's like, well, I'm middle class, opportunity, shmamamini, or whatever it is. It was ridiculous. One of the ABC moderators, Lindsay Davis, is a member of Harris's sorority, and Dana Walden, a Disney executive whose portfolio includes ABC, is one of the vice president's close friends. Well, good news for the American people is that ABC News doesn't really have that great reach. You know, more people watch stupid, fat, bearded YouTubers and content creators like myself than probably watch ABC. Action News 6 ABC Brian Taff asked Harris, 59, what specifically she would do to bring down prices as president. Well, I'll start with this. Oh my God, she did it. She actually did it. I'll start with this. I grew up as a middle-class child. So what? What does that mean? My mother raised me and my sister. She worked very hard. She began before going on about where people were proud of their lawn. We as Americans have beautiful character. We have ambitions and aspirations and dreams, but not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambition, Harris went on. She, of course, did not say how she would bring down prices, but did highlight her proposed policy to give $25,000 handout to new homeowners and giving tax breaks to new small businesses. Harris also said she is, quote, obviously not Joe Biden because she offers, this is another one of her favorite words, an opportunity economy. What's an opportunity economy? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. So, for example, thinking about developing and creating an opportunity economy where it's about investing in areas that really need a lot of work, she said, seemingly looking to find words. The Veep said she's not going to take anyone's weapons away and that she supports the Second Amendment, but will ban assault weapons, whatever those are, and wants universal background checks, which is in violation of the Second Amendment. They are literally tools of war. That's right, your vice president carried one, apparently. On what she thinks a Trump appeal to voters is, Harris again took a few sentences to get to the core of the question. Based on experience, and lived experience, know in my heart, I know in my soul, that a vast majority of Americans have in common much more than what separates us. What? Literally what? Quite literally what? It means nothing. Kamala Harris now being pressed by some allies to do more interviews. I don't think you can hide for 56 more days. Harris has avoided formal press conferences since becoming the Democratic Party's nominee. I promise you that this woman is not going to do a press conference. Won't do it. She will not do a press conference. She's going to literally ride ABC and the Democratic machine to the finish line. Can't do a press conference. The first press conference this woman's going to try to do is on November 5th when she thinks she won the election. That's it. I mean, look at this. Kamala Harris appears nervous during an interview and is asked how she plans to bring down the prices and responds by saying she was raised middle class. Nice.
We talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people. Yeah. What are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid.
Nobody cares. I don't care if my president grew up a billionaire. It doesn't matter to me. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters whatsoever to anybody who's actually voting. Man, I want someone else middle class. By the way, over the last few days, now I know that these are just, literal emotional millionaires betting crypto back and forth. Since Sunday, now to be fair, before the very biased debate with Kamala Harris in her brain dead interview, she gave a brain dead interview. There was another attempt on Trump's life, and Kamala Harris's lead over Donald Trump has been erased. Now, to be fair, Donald Trump was like a 3 or 4 point favorite on the betting markets going into the debate. Kamala's softball ABC sit-down shows network's bias and how she has literally nothing to say. There she goes again. Kamala Harris gave another interview that reveals why she hides from questions. She has literally nothing to say. An 11-minute interview with Pennsylvania ABC affiliate has drawn over 5 million views on X. The vice president lapsed into recycled sound bits and snippets from past speeches. Reporter Brian Taff asked direct questions about policies and never got a single direct answer. She filibustered with tales of her childhood and an inane kicker of being that folks are very proud of their lawn. Wow, so deep. She's mind-melting with Chauncey Gardner from being there. I don't get that reference. As an opportunity economy, she promises, Harris offers absolutely no insights. Repeated pledges to give away money to small businesses, parents, and homeowners. How does that differentiate from Joe Biden? I'm a different person. I'm not Joe Biden. Checkered fact check. How does she appeal to Donald Trump voters? People want a leader who could bring us together, she said, before citing a report support of Liz and Dick Cheney as proof. Count on the interview being one of her last in a while. Back to the Biden basement strategy for a wannabe leader of the free world. Still, the segment does serve a larger purpose by illustrating how much she benefited from ABC's biased debate last week. That's why I still felt she should have, that Trump should do another debate. But if it's going to be so biased again, then I understand why he's not. There's literally no reason to. Like, none whatsoever. None. So why even bother? Just get out there and campaign, and get after the work. Davis revealed the outlines of entrapment plan to an LA. They're talking about, the Trump trap. Watch this. Watch Jesse Waters.
She gave her first solo interview to Brian Taff. Ever heard of him? We hadn't either.
No disrespect, Jesse Waters. Everyone starts somewhere. At least he asked her reasonable questions, you know?
He's a local action news anchor for the local ABC station in Philly. And Kamala could not get it together.
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people,
Incoming
what are one or
cringe.
two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid.
She doesn't have any plans. Listen, to anybody out there, you know, Kamala Harris has no plan. The look he gave her after word salad says everything. Like her face.
My mother raised...
Let's skip past this part.
It is.
And then I heard something about ambition and aspiration. Kamala's only idea to fight inflation was price controls, but she's not allowed to say that anymore because it's stupid. So she has nothing to say and just runs out the clock with childhood stories. And it got worse.
Oh, that's hard to
Some
imagine.
people have a question, given maybe your current role as Vice President of the United States, how different you are from Joe Biden.
Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, I offer a new generation of leadership. And so, for example, thinking about developing and creating an opportunity economy where it's about...
Literally what? Literally what?
What did she just say?
Yeah.
How are you different than Joe Biden? The entire goal of her campaign is to separate herself from Joe Biden.
Look, I still firmly believe that on November 5th, people are going to look at their pocketbook. They're going to look at their paychecks. They're going to look at their grocery bills. They're going to look at all the stuff that really matters in their life. Okay? All the stuff that really matters in their life. And they're going to say, I don't want 4 more years of this. I don't want 4 more years of this. Nobody does. I guarantee you Kamala Harris, I mean, she's not doing a press conference. That's not going to happen. And it's sad just how close this election will be. Now, I still believe on voting day that the American people will go into those voting booths and say, there is no way I'm voting for this idiot. But then again, they voted for Joe Biden. So we got to still be about that work. I'm doing my work with Tailgates for Trump. You do your work. Can't happen. Can't afford 4 more years of this nutbag. Just can't do it.